Now, the Supreme Court of Appeal has set aside a rule by the country's audit industry body requiring listed and public interest entities to rotate their audits every 10 years, or their auditors. Now, the CSA found the Independent Regulatory Board for Auditors did not have the power to force rotation as per the mandatory audit firm rotation rule. The IRBA is not pleased and says the setting aside of this rule poses minimal risk to investors on a short-term basis. Now, the MAFR rule was introduced in June 2017 and became effective from the 1st of April this year. And we speak to CEO of the Independent Regulatory Board for Auditors, Imre Nagy. Imre, thank you so much for your time. I mean, it's a lot of legalities and acts, etc., with regards to the Auditors Board. Give us, just if you were to break it down in simple terms, what all of this means.
So good morning, and good morning to the viewers. Thank you for having me. So basically what happened on Wednesday is that Supreme Court of Appeal issued a judgment setting aside a mandatory firm rotation in South Africa. The rule required audit firms to rotate after 10 years, meaning that an auditor could not extend beyond 10 years their audit services to the same client. So the court's judgment was set aside on a legal technical basis and not really addressing the merit, or the judgment did not bring into question the value or the need or the effectiveness of firm rotation. So I would like to reassure the public and the investing community that since the rule was published in the Gazette back in 2017, the regulator provided a 5-year lead time for auditors and companies to prepare for rotation. The effective date only came into play on the 1st of April this year. So over the last 5 years, we've had a very positive uptake of voluntary rotation, to the extent that as of yesterday, 91% of JSE listed entities have already rotated. So the benefit of those rotation in terms of embedded independence between the auditors and the companies are already there. So there's a minimal short-term risk for investors at the moment, but we are not out of the woods yet. As much as we've achieved much of what we wanted to do to end extended audit firm 10 years, there are still companies that have 10 years with their audit firms in excess of 100 years. So yeah, it is a couple of steps back, I would say, but we are looking to take some steps forward.
And Imre, just for my novice mind as well, when it comes to the importance of auditors, not only in the public sector, but as you're saying, in blue chip companies as well, it's around the governance and corporate citizenship to ensure that everything is transparent, it's done above board, and shareholders are also protected. Is that in a nutshell what auditors do?
Absolutely. So independence, let me start to say that independence is the cornerstone of the work that auditors do. Independent external auditors rely on their independence, and the companies that they audit rely on their independence to issue an opinion on financial statements, and those financial statements are critical to be accurate, and that the figures in the financial statements are complete, accurate, and without misstatement. Because investors rely on those financial statements and the opinion issued by the auditor to make investment decisions, and I think you can see where this is going. Auditing is a critical part of serving society, especially from an economic perspective, and serving the economy and economic growth in the country through investment. So yes, you're absolutely right. Auditors play a critical role in stimulating investment, and that's why we can't beat around the bush when it comes to things around audit quality, independence of auditors, etc. And as a regulator, we still feel very strongly that there's merit in a mechanism such as firm rotation, in addition to all the other independence requirements in our code of conduct that auditors are obliged to implement. We believe that even though the court has set aside the rule, it is still an important principle to continue to ensure auditors are free of influence and to ensure independence risks are thoroughly addressed in the public interest.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there, Imre. Thank you so much for your time. That's Imre Nagy. He is the CEO of the Independent Regulatory Board for Auditors, speaking to us about the importance of rotation in that sector to ensure independence, transparency, and accountability.